Welcome and thank you for coming. I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible to leave plenty of time for questions at the end. And don't forget, you can ask questions in the little question area of the Q&A section off to the side. First thing to remind you that this is being recorded. So if you don't wish to be part of the recording, just let me know and we'll deal with that. And we're also going to make it available through our YouTube channel at the end of it. So hopefully you can all see the PowerPoint presentation. Let me know if you can't. Ewan, can you see it?
Yep, all good, Kylie.
Fantastic. Okay, so to start with, you know who I am. I'm Kylie Leonard. WIDA is my pride and joy. It is my favourite event of the year, and I find it the most uplifting experience to be involved in. The people that get nominated and the people that ultimately end up as finalists and end up as our winners are the most amazing group of women. We have an amazing judging panel. This year we have 21 judges that have signed up, plus Ewan and I, to judge, and they come from all parts of industry, and we've got 2 people in uniform. We've got some Indigenous members, so we sort of have tried to cover as many bases as we possibly can. We've got engineers, we've got HR people. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, we'll just go through the basic entry questions, and then we'll look at some category specific ones. And some of these may seem really obvious, but in a lot of entries, this is where they fall down. Full name, title, and role of the nominated individual. You have 100 words here. We just want a brief summary. We don't want a whole CV. We just need an outline of what they're doing. Please be really careful about putting the person's name and role in, and the company where they come from. You won't believe the number of entries that we get corrections to afterwards because somebody's misspelled a name or actually put the wrong company down. We understand that there are security issues. We get it. If you can't be really specific and you have to be a little opaque about the role of the individual, that's not going to detract from their entry at all. What did they achieve in 2023? These are annual awards. They are not lifetime achievement awards. So what you really need to emphasize is what made you go wow about what the woman achieved in 2023. This is the most important part. If the entry doesn't come out and grab the judges at this question, or if it doesn't explicitly say in 2023 she achieved, it's unlikely to get through to the finals. We want to know how this particular nominee has supported other women, whether it's inside the organisation, outside the organisation, in a different branch of defence. You can see it's worth 200 words. This can sometimes be the tipping point between somebody winning or somebody being a finalist in the view of the judges. Again, same with the volunteering and outreach work. It doesn't have to be inside defence. It could be outside defence. It could be related to defence. It could be something that they're mentoring somebody in a university course. Anything like that is really important. Okay, so they're the questions that every category has to answer. So we'll just quickly race through the category specific questions. Each category will have their own question, and they've been designed to bring out or highlight something that we think is important in that particular area. Again, it's worth 200 words. So in communications, describe some of the strategies that the nominee has used to develop to improve their communication strategies. This could be with inside the organisation or outside the organisation. It's pretty, because it is a communication category, that's what we're trying to emphasise there. Engineering. We want more women in engineering, so we want to know how this particular engineer has shown their outright passion for what they're doing. I'm yet to meet an engineer who won't talk your legs off about their particular area, and that's what we want to know. I'm married to one, and I have one as a daughter, so really keen to hear what they want to do. Executive management. We want to know what they had to overcome to get there. Now, this question sort of bucks the trend and saying it's all got to be about 2023. We understand that people in executive management have had a long career path, so that's what we're trying to bring out here. It's an opportunity to brag about how they've got to where they are. We want to know how our Indigenous nominees are making an impact within their own communities. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to be their own Indigenous communities, but that's sort of the gist of the idea. It could just be in the community in general. Legal and contracting, same sort of thing. So defence is a different world to work in. There's security clearances, there's all sorts of other bits and pieces that are really particular to defence. We want to highlight that there were difficulties. We know you probably can't talk about them in detail, but we want to know what strategies were put in place to overcome those problems, whether it was a communication issue or a legal issue, that sort of thing. Operations, same thing. Defence is a different way of working and a different way of doing things. We want to know what in particular did this woman working in operations have to do, whether it's, refueling a ship in the middle of a cyclone, helping Tonga overcome an earthquake. What made it particularly difficult, and what strategies did they use to overcome them? And people and culture, it's all about the touchy-feely stuff. So how have they supported other women in their workplace? Project management, again, discuss it in the defence space. Now, there is something particular I want to talk about with project management. It is about how that individual has made that particular project or projects they're working on successful. It's not about how successful a project was. So we have a number of nominations where they talk about how wonderful the project was, but nothing about how the woman was particularly involved in it, and that's not going to get you through. Research and development, it's all about how people have gone through and actually done something and how it's had a practical result. And Rising Star, this is one of our favourite categories. These are our women under 30 who have done a lot in a very short amount of time and actually make me wonder what I've done with my life. We want to know what they're doing to encourage other young women to join, and why did they choose defence in the first place? The other thing that's sort of related to that Rising Star has led to is our 30 under 30 awards, and if anybody that attended that at the start of this year, it was just amazing. So we would encourage anybody that did enter 30 under 30 to also, and is female, to also enter this category as well, and vice versa. And technical trade, we want more women on the tools. So what has your particular nominee done to encourage other young women to take up a trade? Or not even young women, older women, maybe a second career. Right, and here are our 10 tips to entry. These 10 tips have been put together after discussions with the judges and after a lot of years of us actually doing the judging. It's based on things that we've seen that have made us go, and things that have really impressed us. As we said, I'll repeat again, these are annual awards. We want to know what they've done in 2023 this time. We want to know what you've done above and beyond their base position. So we've actually removed the option to attach a CV to the nominations this year, because we know that everybody does their job. You wouldn't have nominated them for these awards if they weren't amazing at what they did. We want to know what they did above that. We want to know what the nominee has done that specifically benefit defence and defence industry. And you put the first thing you need to do is really put a lot of thought into that category that you're going to put their nominee in. So we had I would say three to five amazing entries last year that were in the wrong categories. And we did move them, but then they weren't quite written right, and so they didn't do as well. So please, 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 please put a lot of effort into this. Everybody loves a good story. So use some of those words to explain how a nominee overcame problems, personal, professional, just general. Okay. We're looking for details. Just saying Mary was a role model doesn't give us enough. We need to know Mary was a role model because she went out and helped with the local softball team. She mentored students going through university. She got in a car and drove 500 kilometres to sit with a colleague who was having a rough time. That's the sort of thing we want to hear. Again, back to the project one. A successful project does not necessarily make the nominee outstanding. We need to know why that person was outstanding. What did they contribute to the project? How did their personal contribution make the project shine? And how did they change the workplace cultural practices and help other women? As well as supplying the supporting documents, we want to hear from other women in their workplace. We want to hear about the people that they supervise, and from their supervisors. A great reference carries a great deal of weight. The entries need to be definitive. I think we said this. just saying she's amazing. We know you nominated her, but answer, how is she amazing? What did she do that was so amazing? Okay. Hopefully I didn't race through that too quickly, but the most important thing is to give you some time to ask some questions. So if you want to just raise your hand, I can jump on and answer your questions, or if you put any down in the Q&A section, we can answer them from there as well. We have no questions.
We've got a late joiner as well, Kylie. We can also take questions on notice as well.
Yeah, if you just want to drop me a line. So, Stephanie, are you trying to ask something? I can't hear you. No, there's no questions at all? Okay. Oh, hang on. We might have a question here. Oh, okay. This is Stephanie apologising.
Kylie, we might have some more questions once we start drafting the response, I reckon. That's been an excellent presentation, though. Thank you.
That's okay. So, look, if you have any questions, by all means, drop me an email. Yeah, or a message through LinkedIn, or reach me as well. Just let me know. And again, there's no such thing as a dumb question. We've probably seen them before, and if I don't have an answer for you, I will find it. Actually, there was one other thing. So last year we had a couple of people try to nominate a whole group of women. These are individual awards. So yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a way of judging a whole group of women against an individual. So just that's one thing I should have added as well.
If I could just tune one thing into, I think, Kylie, you've said this, but generally speaking, all the nominations we see are very impressive people doing very impressive jobs and have very impressive achievements. Those are always going to be the foundation of a good nomination, but what really separates the winners is often the extracurricular activities. So don't skip those questions. Make sure you focus on those. Those, as I said, really separate the winners.
Okay, we've got a question from Carly about, does the Rising Star have the opportunity to expand beyond 2023? I guess a little bit, because it is a little bit of a career question, but we need something amazing to have happened in 2023 for them to stand up for these awards, because there's no reason why people can't continue to nominate right up until the point they're 30. Does that answer it, Carly?
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's okay. All right, and don't forget 30 under 30 as well. Okay, if there's nothing else, we might just...
I have one more question, just coming off the back of that. So the focus is 2023 calendar year, not financial year?
Calendar year, correct, yeah.
Understood, thank you, that's really helpful.
Because, yeah, it gives you some time, you've had some time to sit back and reflect about what they actually did in 23 if we start the nominations now. Yep.
Brilliant, thank you.
And just one more thing, a big plug for our sponsors. So we really cannot put this together without these amazing people. We also have 3 amazing STEM table sponsors as well. And they mean that we can support 5 young women from outside defence to come to the awards to see what is going on. So 5 per table, so we'll end up with a total of 15 for this year, which is pretty exciting for me. It's my favourite part of my favourite event. Okay, well, on that note, we might close it off, and we'll save this up and we'll get it up on the website as fast as we can. But yes, of course, contact me or contact you, and if you've got any questions. But thank you.
Thanks
very much.
Ewan.
Thank you.